Alright, this video is entitled Understanding Faith and Works. Please forgive me, my voice is hoarse, but I must continue on. The question is, what is faith? Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 defines faith as this. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Alright, real quickly, what does justify means? Okay, according to the Greek lexicon, justify, Strong's number is 1344, and it means to show to be righteous or declare righteous. Alright, so now let's go to Galatians chapter 2 verse 16. I'll just read verse 16 and I'll come back to Galatians chapter 2 later on. Right, first, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. So, a man is not justified by the works of the law. That's clear. It says that we might be justified by the faith of Christ. So the faith is how we're justified. And justified means to be just simply to be declared righteous. So the laws can't make you righteous, only having faith in Christ. All right. So now, what does this have to do with the law now? Because now the law don't have that ability to justify you anymore or make you righteous as it did in the old times, the ancient times, or before this commandment. So, what purpose is the law now? Do the laws have any value at all because of faith? Well, this is the question that's proposed in Romans chapter 3 verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. And establish the law simply means we uphold the law. So even though the law does not justify you or declares you to be righteous, only faith justifies you or declares you to be righteous, that does not mean that the laws have no value or of no purpose. It don't mean that. It said we still uphold the law. Just know, by doing the law, you're not made righteous. That's all he's saying. And this is why. James chapter 2 verse 17 explains further. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead being alone. That's why we uphold the law. Because the faith of Christ, although it declares you to be righteous, by itself is dead, is of no value. It does not profit you. Okay? By itself is nothing. And verse 14. Let's go back to verse 14 of James chapter 2. This is why. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him? So the question is, faith, although it justifies you, but without works, it can't save you. So, the law, the works of the law can't justify you or save you by itself. Neither can faith. Verse 18, it kind of explains a little better. Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Shew me thy faith without thy works, and I will shew thee my faith by my works. So faith is shown by your works, or by the works of the law, not in the absence of the law, or not with the attitude that the law is done away with. Is that clear? Verse 19. This is why. It all makes sense. This is why. Thou believest that there is one God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. See, that's why. Because the devils, plural, also believe. They also have faith. But guess what? The devils will never do the works of God. They never have. They never will. It's not in them. Then again, well, if the devil did the works of the law, then he wouldn't be the devil. If the devil could fulfill the law, then what do we need Christ for? So the devils only have that belief system. They only have that faith system. No works. And you're bragging about having faith and no works. Well, there's a reason why devils is plural here. You might be one of them. To have faith and no works, you might be one of the devils. Okay? I'm just joking there, but to have faith and no works, you're on the same level as the devil. Because both of you refuse to do the works of God, the laws, the works of the law. Alright, verse 20. But without know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead. You hear that? You catch that? Vain man. The person that has faith and do not do the works of the law, the works of God, is called a vain man. And this is why. Verse 21. Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son up upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought in his works? And by works was faith made perfect. So your faith is only made perfect by the works, by your works, by the works of the law. Now we're going to go back to Galatians chapter 2. We read 16 earlier. Now we read 17, 18, and 19. Verse 17. But if, while we seek to be justified by Christ, we ourselves also are found sinners, is therefore Christ the minister of sin? God forbid. So this is the question. If we're seeking to be justified by Christ, if we're holding on to this faith that we have in Christ, and only faith, but we don't do the works of the law, we sin, and that's just a fact. There's only two works. There's the works of the law, the works of God, and the works of sin, the works of Satan. That's it. There's no other works. There's no medium. So the question is, although we're holding on to this faith in Christ, we're trying to be justified, but if we're not holding on, if we're not establishing the law, we're not upholding the law, then we're found sinners. But we have faith. But we have faith in Christ. So what is the message here? Are we saying Christ is the minister of sin? And as you can see, the answer is God forbid. And the reasoning is right here. Verse 18. For if I build again the things which I destroy, I make myself a transgressor. So if we're holding on to faith in Christ, then we destroy the old man, the old sinner man. But if we go back to sin, become fornicators, become idolaters, become adulterers, liars, thieves, deceitful people, whatever the sin is, if we go back to that, all we did was build up the things that we previously destroyed when we try to obtain faith in Christ. Now we're back a transgressor. Now we got to start all over. We got to build this faith back into Christ to be justified. And this time we should apply the works of the law so our faith can be made perfect. Verse 19. For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto God. What does that mean? It simply means that as long as we sin, there's a law. So for every sin we do, there's a law, there's a penalty. But if we're dead to the law, that means that we're not sinners, so we don't have the law doesn't apply to us. And that's how we live to God. Alright, so I hope this study, this lesson was benefiting to you. Hope you learned a lot. That's it. Peace.